You want to get experience in the business you're going into. And you can do a lot of intel. We'll talk about it a little bit later. In management, you got to know how to manage people unless you're going to do everything. When I go into a lot of companies and I look around, I almost see like little bubbles above the heads. And one of them says 60, one of them says 50, one of them says 80, one of them says 30. And what it is, the percent of effort that they're putting out. Believe it or not, everybody working in the company is not putting out 100%. And sometimes they're not even doing the activity that the company really wants them to do. Believe it or not, I'm not kidding. So in management, you have to manage all those processes. They say you don't manage people, you lead people, and that's true. But you have to make sure that you're managing your asset. The reason banks won't loan to some companies is because they don't manage their financials. You know, they don't manage their money well. They don't manage their customers well. They don't manage their employees well. You have to know how to do that. I was terrible at management. So what did I do? Hire people who are good at management. So there's 3 elements of business that you have to be really good at. They're the keys to business. Marketing, getting customers. And it's not just getting customers, you want good customers. Some customers are bad customers. Some customers buy products you don't make a lot of money on, and it's a lot of work. You want to get the good customers that buy the things that you want, and you want them to do it when you want them to do it, and so you do that through marketing. And we'll talk a little bit more about marketing here. Operation, your systems, your processes need to be as effective and efficient as they can. There's no more efficient than not doing something that doesn't need to be done. So that person not having a reception is eliminated an activity because it had no value to the company nor the person, you know, to the company or the customers. So, you know, you need to be very good at those. Insufficient capitalization. This comes from not having a plan. When they don't have enough capital, they should have known it if they had a good plan. And a good plan would include cash flow projections. Now I'll give you an example. If I decided to go to Atlanta this weekend and visit my daughter, and I got in my car and started driving up there, and I ran out of gas in Macon, and I didn't have any money, was that because I was undercapitalized? Or was that poor planning on my part? Could I have known how far it is from here to Atlanta? Could have I figured out how many miles per gallon my car gets? Could I look at how much fuel and money I had and been able to say, I can't make it. I'll wait another week until I get this much money, and then I'll go visit her. That's what you do. That's the reason they fail. And you know what makes me cry? Is when I see someone that runs out of cash in month 5 and break even was month 7. If they'd only had enough capital to make it to month 7, they would have been there, gravy built, and who knows where it would have gone. But because they didn't plan, and they didn't, oh, I have to have that license? Ooh, I have to have insurance? Oh, I have to pay taxes? I didn't know about that, you know. Oh, my plan was, I'm going to sell it cheaper than everybody else and get more service. All right? You get a lot of business, but will that plan work? Is it sustainable? Everybody hates to plan. Not that hard nowadays. There's a lot of tools to help you, and we help you. No excuse not to do this. Now, there will be times where you can't plan the future. You cannot project what's going to happen. You don't know whether a hurricane's going to hit here tomorrow, or whether some government regulation would disallow what you want to do. You can't know that, but you can have a contingency plan to handle that, and you can do better than if you have no. Are you cut out for management? Do you know? That was related to the last one. You have to be ready to manage day one, and you have to know what to do. You have a lot of things to do if you're the business owner. And this is the biggest difficulty in helping people, is because they're swamped with so many things to do. You are the leader of the organization. If you can rally the troops, if you can communicate what it is, why they're there, and how they have an opportunity, and you can get them aligned, you're working together, you can do powerful things. You could be at half the skill level of your competition and beat them. If you have a team that is rallied in working together, in supporting each other, then because of your leadership, you have a big opportunity to be successful. We had a program this week with Stonewoods, and he was talking about the serving of the table, and how the tables are everyone's responsibility. You know, this table isn't Tony's table, and then that's my table. If they see you're low on water, anybody walking by will grab it and fill you up with water, because that leadership has told them that the customer affects all of us. You're all part of that. And you have to understand human behavior, what makes people willing and able to do what needs to be done, and make that happen. Marketing and advertising. You have to promote your business. You have to understand it. We're going to talk a little bit about marketing. Most people don't understand what marketing is. There's a reason you go certain places. How many people like to go to Publix? There's a reason. You know, they do things in marketing that makes us feel like it's a better value for us. You know, how many people go to Walmart? There's a reason that we do that. It's called marketing and advertising. It isn't the best company that does the best. It's the one that's perceived as the best. Planning. 50% of the time, people are doing activity that has no value to them or anybody else. 50% of the time. Everybody here is doing stuff that doesn't relate to what you want out of life. You know, we do a little things with a gold values auction. It says, what's important to you? Health, wealth, love, you know, all these type things. What's important to the business? Well, if you haven't identified where you want to be and the process to get there and what each activity step is, then you're not going to get to where you want to be. And that's why people aren't that successful. It's like eating the elephant. It's done one bite at a time. So I feel that I can pretty much accomplish anything. I just have to know what it is, and then I'll figure out what it'll take to get there. Now, it might take longer, or it might take more resources, but I can bring them in. I'm working with a guy, we're looking at doing a $30 million acquisition, and that's big. This company's doing $5 million a year. So to buy a $30 million, well, it's a $100 million company, but a $30 million acquisition, it's going to be huge, and he didn't think he could do it. I said, well, let's work it out. Let's figure out how we can maybe break this apart, bring in some other people that want what you don't want, divide it up in such a way that we can make it. So if you know where you're going, we can work on a plan. I believe that you should spend, we don't do this because we don't have to. You answer the phone because you have to, it's ringing, you got to answer. This I can put off, I do it tomorrow, do it the next day. Schedule time to work on planning and do it on a regular basis. We're going to talk about business planning, what you need to do. Financial analysis. How many people hate financials? I get people come in and say, makes me sick. I'm looking at these things and going, oh my gosh, all these numbers and everything else. I hate it. I hate numbers, but I love money. So when I relate these numbers to money, I learned to really love this, because the better I do with this, the more money I can have. And we have a class called Profit Mastery, and we teach you how to use the financial statements to manage your business. There's the balance sheet, the income statement, and cash flow. These are the main things that we look at. And they're very important if you're doing this for money reasons. If you're doing it for fun, then don't worry about it. Financial income. Decision making. You have to make decisions. You can't have paralysis by analysis. Studies have shown that 56% of the time, the top thinkers in the country make the best decision they could make. Only 56% of the time. Now they survive and they're the top in the country, probably because of execution on the decision that they made. But there's a point in time when you have to make that decision. And the better process, the better system, you have to do it. You've got two employees that aren't getting along. You've tried everything you can. Maybe you're going to have to get rid of one of them or both of them.